If you're watching this, please, just listen. Do not go to 119 Harper Road. Don't even look it up. I wish someone had warned me before I stepped foot inside that house. My name is Emily Carter. I'm a licensed real estate agent in Pennsylvania, and what I'm about to tell you isn't a marketing story. It isn't a ghost tale to boost views or clicks. I'm telling you this because I don't think I have much time left. I took a job that seemed too easy. Just a simple abandoned home out in rural Pennsylvania. A probate situation. The previous owner had passed away. No family left to claim it. The agency wanted a quick sale. I was new, hungry for commission. So when my manager handed me the file, I smiled and said, "I'll get it sold within a month." That was my first mistake. The first time I drove up the long gravel road, trees crowding in on both sides, my GPS glitched and lost signal halfway up the hill. The house finally revealed itself like something from a forgotten movie. Tall, two-story, weather-faded blue paint. Windows covered in grime thick enough to turn day into twilight. But it wasn't the appearance that unsettled me. It was the feeling. A sensation like eyes were already watching me from inside. Waiting. I shook it off. I mean, abandoned houses feel creepy. That's nothing new. I unlocked the door, stepped inside, and immediately wrinkled my nose at the stench. Dust, mold, something rotten underneath it all. The kitchen sink was full of crusted plates, silverware buried beneath layers of dust and spider webs. A chair had been knocked over as if someone left in a hurry. Upstairs, a curtain dangled half off the rod, fluttering like someone just passed by. Still, it was nothing unusual for a property left untouched for years. I spent about an hour doing a walkthrough, recording notes on my phone. The house needed work, a deep clean at the very least. Honestly, I thought I'd have to hire a professional cleaning crew before even taking listing photos. I took a final look from the doorway before locking up. I remember thinking, we're going to have to gut this whole place. I returned 2 days later. The moment I walked in, my heart stopped. The dishes were washed. Every plate and fork, spotless, stacked neatly on the counter. The floors were swept clean, the old rugs shaken out and laid flat. The curtain upstairs had been fixed and hung perfectly straight. I froze at the entry, keys still in my hand. The air even smelled different, fresher, like someone had opened the windows recently, but all the windows were locked tight. My first thought was trespassers. Maybe squatters. Maybe someone who still believed the house belonged to them. I retraced my steps carefully, listening for the slightest sound. But the house was silent. The kind of silence that presses into your ears. I checked the doors, locked, windows unlocked. No footprints. No dust disturbed except the cleaned areas. I didn't call the police. I should have. Instead, I told myself someone from the agency probably sent a cleaner without telling me. I even laughed nervously, though it sounded wrong inside that house. I finished my inspection, took new notes, and left, trying not to look back too quickly. That night, around 1:30 a.m., I woke up feeling uneasy. Not scared, just like I'd forgotten something important. I kept thinking about the dishes, how clean they were, how carefully they were stacked, perfectly aligned, like someone obsessed with detail had done it. I couldn't shake the feeling. When I returned a third time to measure rooms for listing dimensions, the house was cleaner again. Dust gone, cobwebs gone. The bathroom mirror wiped so perfectly, I could see my own confused face reflected in it. I called my manager right there in the hallway. "Did you send somebody to clean this place?" He swore he didn't. That's when my breath hitched. If he didn't hire anyone, and who did? But the house was clean and I needed those listing pictures. So, after calming myself with a long exhale, I set down my bag and took out my camera. As I raised it toward the hallway, I felt a cold draft against the back of my neck, like someone had leaned in too close. I spun around. No one. But the light fixture above me swayed as if disturbed. I swallowed hard and kept taking pictures. What else could I do? When I got home that night, I uploaded the photos. Kitchen, bedroom, hallway, all perfectly clean, except one shot. In the reflection of that spotless bathroom mirror, my camera captured something behind me, blurred but human-shaped, standing just barely out of sight. I stared at the screen for more than a minute without breathing. Something was wrong with that house. And the worst part? I knew I'd be going back again tomorrow. I should have quit. I should have reported it. I should have run. Instead, I went back, and that was my second mistake. I didn't go to work the next day. I didn't call anyone. I just sat on my living room floor, knees pulled tight to my chest, staring at my front door like something was going to walk in at any moment. My phone buzzed several times. Texts from my manager, a voicemail from a coworker, but I couldn't bring myself to answer. How could I explain any of this? How could I make someone believe I was being replaced by myself? By afternoon, I gathered what little strength I had left and drove straight to a hotel 2 towns away. I paid cash. I told the receptionist I didn't want anyone knowing where I was. I didn't even bring a suitcase, just fear. Inside the room, I checked every corner, every closet, every place someone could hide. I sat with my back against the headboard and watched TV with the volume low, just to drown out my thoughts. But the thoughts didn't drown, they whispered. What if it follows? What if it's already here? What if it's not the house, but you? At 3:07 a.m., that cursed hour, I woke up again. The TV was off. The room was dark. Too dark. Slowly, my eyes adjusted. Someone was sitting at the desk. A woman's silhouette. Hair falling over her shoulders. Perfect posture. Perfect stillness. I couldn't move. Couldn't breathe. Then I saw her face when she turned slightly toward me, a faint smile stretching wide. My face, my eyes, but emotionless. Familiar, yet hollow. She leaned forward and whispered in my exact voice, "You can run from home." I scrambled backward until I hit the nightstand. The lamp fell and shattered, plunging the room back into blinding darkness. I clawed for the door, throwing it open, and she was gone. Vanished. I fled into the hallway barefoot, tears burning my eyes. I slammed the fire exit open, letting the cold night air hit me like a slap. I didn't stop running until I reached my car. I locked myself inside, shivering uncontrollably. I cried until sunrise. When morning came, exhaustion forced one realization. I needed answers. Real answers. Someone must have known what happened in that house before me. Someone who could explain why it was alive. I searched public records, old newspaper archives, anything. Hours of digging, dozens of pages, until I found it. June 14th, 1957, Harper Road cleaning tragedy. A woman named Eleanor Price, a housemaid, had lived there. She was known for being obsessive about cleanliness. Neighbors said she stayed up all night cleaning, humming a lullaby. Then one night, she disappeared. Police found signs she was still alive. Fresh meals, cleaned rooms, but they never found her. Some say she never left, the article ended, and the house cleans itself because she still does. My stomach flipped. The photograph dated 1956. The smile, the humming. She wasn't replacing me. She was becoming me, or making me become her. I slammed my laptop shut and pressed my hands hard against my face, trying to hold myself together. But the pieces were coming apart. Every night I woke up at 3:07 a.m. Every night something took me back there. Every night I cleaned her house. I felt a vibration, my phone, a new voicemail notification. I played it. It was my own voice, calm, sweet, humming that lullaby. Then words. "You're almost finished. Just one room left." Coldness flooded my bones. There was only one room I had never seen in that house, the basement. My breathing grew sharp and broken. I wanted to throw the phone away, smash it. But deep down I knew this wasn't going to end by hiding. So here I am now, recording this. Not because I think anyone can save me, but because someone needs to know the truth before the house takes me completely. If I disappear, if they find me someday smiling in a real estate listing photo, please remember this. The house cleans itself because it cleans you. And once it chooses you, you can never leave clean. My apartment smells like floral cleaner as I'm speaking these final words. My fingernails are black with dirt I don't remember digging. I found soil in my shoes this morning. My hair had twigs tangled in it. I think I've already been back. I think tonight will be the last night I wake up somewhere else. It's 2:59 a.m., she's humming again. If you ever see a house that looks too perfect, if you ever feel watched while you clean, please, don't go inside. Don't accept the keys, don't take the job, don't listen to her voice, and whatever you do, don't go back to 119 Harper Road, because once the house makes you clean, you won't even notice when you stop being you. I didn't go back to sleep, how could I? My brain kept looping the same impossible thought. How did I get there? And what was inside me when I did? I stayed sitting upright on my couch, all the lights in my apartment on, heart thumping against my ribs like it was trying to escape. I waited for the sun because daylight has a way of lying to us, making horror look smaller than it really is. By morning, I had convinced myself of one thing. I needed answers. I grabbed my keys, hands still shaking, and drove straight back to that house. No coffee, no breakfast, no courage. Just a sick desperation to prove to myself that last night wasn't real. The woods seemed darker than ever. The house loomed like it knew I was coming, like it had been waiting. Inside, the air was different, warm, like someone had been cooking. Sure enough, when I walked into the kitchen, I saw a pan on the stove. Eggs scrambled inside, still steaming. A plate set next to it, fork aligned perfectly. Breakfast made for one. Mine. I took a slow step back. The house was caring for me, or grooming me. I gathered every bit of sanity I had left and went straight to where I installed the cameras. All four were gone, not moved, not fallen. Gone. No scratches on the wall, no signs someone had ripped them out. Just gone. Like they never existed. Fear started crawling up my spine. But then something else caught my eye. A framed photograph on the hallway table. A picture of me. I snatched it up with trembling hands. It showed me inside this very house, smiling directly at the camera, as if posing happily in my new home. There was a date on the bottom. 1956. My breath got trapped in my throat. That wasn't possible. That wasn't me. The house creaked above me. Light footsteps. Someone, or something, was walking upstairs. Slowly. Deliberately. My throat tightened. I whispered through dry lips. "Who's there?" No answer. Just one more creak. Then silence. I backed away toward the exit, pulse racing. I needed to run, to leave, to never come back. But as I reached the door, the knob twisted on its own. Click. Locked from the inside. My chest collapsed inward. I yanked it over and over, banging, shoving, but it wouldn't budge. The whole house seemed to shake with each frantic pull, as if laughing at me. Then I heard it. That lullaby, soft, sweet, low enough to sound loving, high enough to sound insane. I turned around slowly, and there, at the bottom of the stairs, stood me. Same hair, same clothes as what I wore in the living room footage. Same wide, unnatural smile carved into her. Into my face, her head tilted just slightly like an animal curious about its prey. Then she spoke in my voice, but wrong, like a broken old recording. "Don't worry. I've been here longer than you." My vision blurred and the room tilted. I stumbled backward, hand searching blindly for anything to protect myself. I grabbed the broom, the same broom I had watched myself use. She began walking toward me, careful step by careful step, humming that lullaby again. So gentle it almost sounded like affection. "You're finally home," she said. "Stop trying to leave." I swung the broom wildly. My hands shook so hard the wood nearly slipped from my grip. She moved fast, too fast, dodging with unnatural grace. Her nails brushed my shoulder, cold, sharp, wrong. I bolted up the stairs, taking them two at a time, throwing myself into the nearest bedroom and slamming the door. I pressed my weight against it, lungs burning. She didn't chase, at least not with footsteps. Instead, her voice slithered through the wood. "You don't remember yet, but you will." The doorknob rattled once, then stopped. I stood frozen for minutes or hours. I couldn't tell. My brain refused to think. My body refused to move. Finally, silence returned. A crushing, heavy silence. I crept to the window. It was old, with rusted latches, the only possible escape. I pried it with everything left in me. The metal scraped and groaned, but finally, it lifted. I squeezed myself through and dropped onto the hard soil below. My ankle twisted painfully on landing, but fear drowned out the pain. I ran, straight to my car. I didn't look back. When I reached my apartment, I locked every door and window, then barricaded my bedroom. Only when some fragile sliver of safety returned did the full horror hit me. The house wasn't haunted. The house was alive, and it was trying to replace me, or maybe it already had. I didn't sleep much that night. I kept checking the bathroom mirror photo, zooming in over and over again. The figure behind me looked wrong. Too tall, shoulders too narrow, and even though it was blurry, I could tell one thing for certain. It was smiling. By morning, I had convinced myself it must have been a trick of the light. Maybe my hair or a reflection of a shadow. Real estate agents walk into creepy houses every week. I wasn't going to let my imagination ruin a sale. Still, on my drive back, I kept my hand on the steering wheel a little too tight. The woods surrounding the property felt darker than usual. The branches overhead looked like bony fingers reaching down. As soon as I parked, it felt like the entire house already knew I was back. I stood there for a moment, key in the lock, stomach tight. Then I forced myself inside. The house wasn't just clean this time. It was staged. The living room now had throw pillows stacked neatly on the couch. A knitted blanket draped over the armrest, something I had never seen in the house before. In the dining room, old plates had been set on the table, polished silverware perfectly aligned as if someone was expecting guests. I called out, "Hello? Is someone here?" The sound of my own voice trembled through the house. There was no reply, just the soft creaking of wood settling like the house was shifting, waking up. Cold sweat formed at the base of my neck. Someone was playing with me. Someone had keys to this place. I dialed my manager again. "Seriously, Mark, if you sent stagers, just tell me." He cut me off. "No one has been there except you. Stop asking." His tone wasn't annoyed. It was nervous, like even he didn't want to talk about the house. I hung up, suddenly feeling like I was standing somewhere I shouldn't be. I grabbed my bag and went to leave, when I noticed something new in the corner. A broom. Old, but clean. Standing upright, on its own. I stepped toward it slowly. The bristles were wet. A tiny puddle of water had formed beneath it, trailing in streaks across the floor. Someone had been cleaning minutes ago. Maybe seconds. That's when I smelled it. The scent of floral cleaner, fresh and sharp, crawling into my nose. I wasn't alone. I spun around and rushed out, slamming the door behind me. My chest hurt, breath shaking. I ran to the car and locked myself inside, watching the house like it could move. After a few minutes, I forced myself to calm down. I couldn't just leave without figuring out what was happening. I needed proof. I drove to a local electronics store and bought the best hidden camera system they had. Motion activated, night vision, everything. If someone was breaking in, I'd catch them. I returned before dark. My hands trembled as I set up 4 small cameras, one in the kitchen, one facing the stairs, one in the hallway, and one in the living room. I even placed a small stuffed bear on the couch to see if anything moved. I locked the house, double-checked the windows, and left. For the first time, I felt like I was finally doing something smart. I went home, brewed coffee, sat down, and watched the live camera feeds from my laptop. All angles showed a perfectly still, perfectly cleaned house. 10 p.m., nothing. Midnight, nothing. 2 a.m., still nothing. I dozed off around 2:30 and woke up to a faint musical sound. It was coming from the laptop, a low humming, feminine, soft, like a lullaby. My heart pounded as I sat up. Every camera except one still showed empty rooms. The living room feed had changed. At first I thought my eyes were adjusting, but The stuffed bear was gone. Just gone. Vanished. And the blanket, that neatly draped blanket, was moving. Slowly. Carefully. Being smoothed out by invisible hands. I clapped my hand over my mouth to stop myself from screaming. The humming got louder. The camera quality flickered. And then, I saw me. There I was, walking into the room with my own slow, steady steps. My eyes wide open, my smile stretched too far. I watched myself grab the broom and sweep in long, graceful strokes, humming that same lullaby. I was watching myself clean the house, in real time. But I was home, awake, watching. My blood turned to ice. It wasn't a burglar. It wasn't a stager. It was me. The screen glitched violently. My own image snapped its head toward the camera, toward me, face twisting into something hateful. The feed cut out. A single message flashed on the screen. Battery low, please charge device. I sat frozen, shaking, staring at the blank screen as the humming stopped. Impossible. That wasn't me. It couldn't be. But I had watched myself clean. I checked the timestamp, 3:07 a.m. Exactly the time I'd been waking up every night. My hands cold and numb, I realized something horrifying. If I was cleaning that house, then something was taking me there. Something inside that house owned me, and I had no memory of it.